Hi, I'm Nicole Bradford, and I am a core advisor for BrainMind, and I'm here with Karen Rommelfanger, who is the CEO of the Ningen Neuroethics Collab. So today you gave a great talk. Will you share for our audience what you talked about?
Yeah, sure. Today I really shared the landscape of what's happening in neurotechnology governance and how society is really reacting to the rapid emergence of this technology. They're very excited, but they're also wary. They're unsure what to do. So what I've shared is that there's an importance in involving certain communities in conversations about where this technology should go, where the guardrails should be. And importantly, I said we needed to invite those communities for whom these kinds of guidelines would matter most. And that would be private sector companies, especially the startups who are translating these technologies and scaling them for society, and also those with the lived experience, patients and families whose pain points might not be known by policymakers and academics who are typically writing certain types of guidances.
And what is the key takeaway? What is the thing that you want someone to really understand about the importance of your work?
Well, in the context of BrainMind, I think a really important piece is leveraging the wisdom of this ecosystem and building some practical tools for what we've had maybe over 10 years of guidance documents that have yet to be implemented. So we have a community of people with an appetite for neuroethics. We have investors, we have entrepreneurs who are really interested in knowing how to practically embed neuroethics into the design of their technologies and platforms.
Mm. And what would you like to go deeper into? What would you have covered if you had had more time?
Yeah. If I had had more time, I think I really would have tried to help share some awareness of the vast spaces that neurotechnologies are being explored in. I think yesterday we had a great discussion about what is well. Today we talked a lot about the clinical context, but there's really with neurotechnology this blurred zone, this porousness between medical and non-medical. So we see the potential for wellness data being used for medical applications. We also see technologies that are being developed in the clinic that once made smaller, more affordable, will make their ways out to the public. So in those different contexts, there will be different ethical implications. And I would love to share and explore those a little bit more deeply with the community.
One of the amazing things that you did was the histogram, because it really shows people what are some of the trade-offs or things they should be thinking about. Could you explain how you came to that and how you think about the prompts?
Yeah, that's really thanks to my collaborator, Daryl Porcello, who's an engagement specialist, and he's always wonderful about designing creative experiences. We've been working with him for a while to design neuroethics engagement tools. These are tools that will foster communication and dialogue across groups who might not normally speak with one another. And we also wanted to put people in the mindset of what are concretely some of the scenarios these technologies might be in and what kinds of tensions they might arise from them.
Mm-hmm. And so for the vision that you have for neuroethics to come to pass, what are some of the key problems and challenges that have to be solved?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of actually BrainMind, I've been working with BrainMind for quite a while over the past few years, and we've interviewed over 100 entrepreneurs, investors, philanthropists, researchers, and they've consistently told us the types of things they need and their pain points. And what we're hearing is that the strategy we need to take is actually embodied by the acronym ACT. We need to raise awareness, we need to change the culture, and we need to also offer simple tools. So that's the strategy that we're taking. I think the problem that needs to be solved is certainly we need awareness. I think the other thing we need is co-creation and deliberation together with people so we can understand what the real ethical concerns are and not the dystopian hyped ones. And once we know what those real concerns are, we can actually figure out how to strategically address them. And that will battle a lot of the hype that's in the community that's driving fears around where neurotechnology will go, how they'll be used. And I will say that often people say, oh, the public is afraid, they have this science fiction imagination. That's often actually also pushed forward by scientists. I mean, when you really take, often by scientists in interviews, when they don't know how to speak clearly about, about their work, or people writing articles about it, But if you really engage publics and allow a dialogue to happen, we know that there are really interesting insights we can get from them about what kinds of futures they imagine and uses for these technologies and what kinds of issues they're concerned about. And we've actually done this in 2006, or we did it, a European Union project did, and they were able to assess many common concerns that we still talk about today, like discrimination, appropriate use of data, appropriate use of intervening and collecting information from the brain.
For other researchers, for founders, or for regulators, politicians out there, how can they support this? If they want to get behind neurorights and neuroethics, what can they do to support this work?
Yeah, I think the important thing that's missing is just making sure that you're really getting the full ecosystem represented in the space. If we tend to invite the people that we already know, so if you're a policymaker, you probably invite mostly policy folks. If you're an academic, that's probably who you're including. If you're companies, maybe you're staying in your own circle. We need a culture of creating hospitable environments for productive co-creation of problem-solving tools.
And then if someone were to ask you about the BrainMind community, what would you say? How would you describe it?
The BrainMind community is a very special place. It's one that cultivates some of the best science and the best thinkers. And it's one of the few places where you can see really amazing matchmaking happen between investors and good ideas, but you can also see people who are really thinking out of the box and trying to change things and for a better world for everyone. And that is the type of community they cultivate, the type of experiences that they bring to life. You will only experience them at BrainMind. I think BrainMind has increasingly been inviting more and more community members to the ecosystem, a diverse blend of them. So I think we see a wonderful, unique ecosystem of investors and entrepreneurs, but we're also seeing people with lived experience talk about their experience with the technologies, what they aspire for. I think increasingly we're seeing policy makers come into the fold. So it's a very exciting evolution to see that as BrainMind learns more, it's always very curious and willing to incorporate more great thought as long as it's promoting moving that needle forward.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.